Good afternoon. Tom Johnson, along with our mayor, Sue Kempf. Well, Sue, we survived the 4th. Long weekend, lots going on. Kind of give me your feedback on looking back at it.
Well, it was a super busy fourth. I mean, I think we had more visitors here than I can remember seeing. And we had the beaches were packed. I've seen a lot of, footage on the beaches and, like looked like there's no place to put down a blanket or a towel or anything. It was just wall to wall people. We did have Marine Safety gave us some statistics. We had a lot of people obviously in the water, and we did last year at this time we did like a little comparison. So last year at this time we did on that weekend we did about 460 rescues. This past week, by comparison, the same time period, we did 2,278. So that's
Oh my gosh.
about a 400% increase. And then we had, I don't know, 95% more contacts, which means the lifeguards go out and tell people like, hey, don't do this, don't do that. You're in a dangerous place. There's rocks there. There's a riptide there. It's high surf, that kind of stuff. So a lot of so the lifeguards were super busy. We didn't have any big accidents, no drownings or anything, which is a testament. When you think about having that many people in the water, and the water's, 70 degrees and super hot inland. So when you think about how many people we had versus basically no big catastrophes, that's pretty good. Now, the other side of that is we did get a lot of resident complaints about, of course, we get them typically this time of year in July, because in July, unlike June and unlike August, half of that, both of those months are people that are still kids or people are still in school or going back to school. So July is just, a pure kind of a free for all month in Laguna. So we always have a lot more visitors, but we've had a lot even more now. And, our adjacent cities are having exactly the same issue. We're not any different than any other beach city, but we did get an inordinate number of people.
So I got to tell you, just looking at the pictures from the day, I would think the biggest chance of injury would be tripping over an umbrella on the way from wherever you were sitting on the stand to getting to the water. There were so many umbrellas and,
Yeah.
and people out there. It was crazy. So did the new boat play any factor in the weekend? Do you know?
I know it was out there. I don't know of any rescues they did with it, but because they didn't say anything about when their statistics, whether or not they used Wave Watch or not. But we did have, we got some high surf and we had a really high tide that day too. So I think the tide came in, high tide was around 8:30. So all the people were there for fireworks, they had to back up.
Right.
So that's not ideal.
Well, I think too, having the boat out there is, yeah, it's not going to be busy all of the time. But like you said, you got through the weekend, nobody drowned, no serious incidents, but it's there for that time that you need it.
Yeah.
And so that's good. Well, good. Congratulations on making it through. Hey, and congratulations to our public safety. They did,
Oh, yes.
again, another marvelous job.
Right. We had everybody on duty, the police officers and the marine safety people, of course, the fire department. Um, they were busy. I didn't hear of any real issues with the police department either. I don't think we have their statistics, but they were busy. I know I called them up to my neighborhood because we had people driving really fast in the neighborhood and throwing M80s out the window. This is the kind of stuff when we talk about fire concern, this is the kind of stuff that happens where we can really get a catastrophic problem.
It's always fun until the bad things happen.
Yeah, no, and I know it's really nerve wracking, and people get really nervous when they hear these kind of things. All the neighbors went out, and of course I live in the neighborhood, so I called the police chief right away. They came up.
So we get to July 4th evening, the drone show goes off. Kind of, a lot of people talking about it, and it's one of those things, in defense of the city, is until you do it, you don't know what it is.
Right.
And so kudos to the city for doing it and and pulling it off. Lots of feedback. What
Mhm.
did you learn?
Well, it's really mixed. I mean, you had people who really appreciated it and liked it. We had people who thought it was a little short, although the thing with the drones is, fireworks, the fireworks display is 10 minutes and the drone show was 15 minutes. But, when you're watching fireworks, they go off continually. They're constantly shooting off and it's very dramatic. Whereas drones, they assemble to create an image, they disassemble and create another image. So there's this lag time. So people thought, it could have been longer. It was quiet because there's no booms going on with the drone show, but there was coordinated music. They said, well, we would like to have speakers up, maybe in Heisler Park or something like that. Some people thought they'd like to see a more sophisticated drone show. And then on the flip side, you had people who didn't like the drone show at all, missed the fireworks because that's traditionally what they're used to, and would like to see the fireworks back. We talked about it briefly at the council meeting, and what we said is we'd like, instead of making a decision right now, we'd like to survey the community sometime in the fall and see where people are. We obviously, want to make sure that, we give the best possible offering. I noticed too, Emerald Bay and, Irvine Cove, of course, they shot theirs off. There was quite a bit of, people forget though, when we shoot off fireworks, there's quite a bit of smoke, and sometimes the smoke obscures the fireworks. So that's one thing. And then I noticed in the LA Times, there was an article about air quality 3 or 4 days, even after the fireworks, around the state, and how bad the air quality was. And they were attributing that to the fireworks. So I don't know, it's one of these things where I could see someday when the state says you can no longer have fireworks because of air quality or fire concerns. So, but we're going to talk to everybody. I'm interested to see what the community says, and we'll try to make the best decision going forward.
Sounds like a win. You have a town hall meeting tonight.
That's right.
We're going to talk about some different things. Why don't you bring us up to date on the town hall meeting, and what you're hoping to get out of that?
Right. So we have a revenue enhancement town hall meeting. It's tonight at 6 o'clock at the Susie Q. I'm not part of the subcommittee, so I'm not really privy to, until it comes to the council, all the different things that are being considered, because that's still in flight. We expect to have that come back next meeting, the 23rd. But, in advance of that meeting, we're trying to get input from the community in terms of what they think they might be acceptable in terms of any increases, or what might be the concerns. So hopefully we get a good turnout. We'll take that into consideration when we make our determination at the council meeting. But, revenue, taxes are always an issue. And we, would like to recoup some money from the visitors whenever we can. We get a lot of visitors here, and the day trippers really don't spend a lot of money here, but the people in the hotels do. So anyway, we're just looking ways to kind of cover some of our costs and get some more revenue. But we don't want to, we're not going to be extreme. We're not extreme in this town, but we're just going to get everybody's input. So I'll be interested to see how that goes.
So a couple of things. If you're watching this after Thursday night, obviously the meeting will already have happened.
Right.
And yeah, I agree with you. I think the tourism tax is a great opportunity to do it, because they bring extra stress onto the city.
Right.
It's something that's commonplace around the country, the world, for people to be doing it. So seems like a natural way to go. Couple of other things that are out there. Can you talk about the survey?
Well, the survey will be the basis for a lot of the decisions that are made in terms of, how we spend our money going forward.
Okay.
So, top of mind is always public safety, as it should be. That's the primary job of the city council, along with, managing the city's finances. So those are kind of what the most important things to do in terms of surplus. I mean, one of the other things that I'd like to see us spend money on, kind of operational in nature, is, we do 3 times trash pickups in the summer on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think maybe we need to add, another one perhaps, because we are getting a lot of people just being disrespectful and not picking up their trash. And usually wouldn't make a huge deal about this, but I don't see this issue abating anytime soon, because if it's with climate change, and if it's going to continue to be hot inland, people are going to continue to come to the beaches, and this is just going to be an ongoing problem that's going to have to be managed by all the coastal cities.
Quick update on the Canyon Protect and Connect engagement status.
So I don't have anything yet. I'll see what comes back to the council. Once again, it's Alex and Bob on that subcommittee, so I have to.
What you do when you're mayor? You get
That's-
everybody else engaged.
Yeah, you abide by the Brown Act and you talk about it when it comes to the council if you're not involved.
Perfect. Sue, I appreciate you taking your time. You're the best. This is another Fair Game Laguna Beach. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thanks, Tom.